doesn't love a good TikTok conspiracy theory? Like that, I'm singing today. I don't know. I just feel like it. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about a new trend on TikTok. That being history denial. We've had this weird influx of young adults, teens, and other such people basically saying that they have DID, which, I mean, if that whole like zero point 0.1 to 1% of the population that has DID all coexist specifically on just TikTok, I would be amazed. But today we're talking about Donna. Donna is, she is, according to Donna, a BA in anthropology and history, so she has a bachelor's in that. She's not a doctor. She probably isn't even a professional, and according to her, she was a BuzzFeed journalist. But Donna has an interesting take, that being that Rome never existed. Like, it is a lie. There's a couple of things here with Donna, and there's some other history channels that have got into this. But basically, the gist of it is that Rome is a cultural lie that we've been telling ourselves in order to base our society in a way that does things that Donna doesn't like. For example, Rome was created by the Spanish Inquisition in order to help propagate things like Christianity, etc., etc.
You're telling me that you got an entire degree in classics and it never occurred to you that there isn't a single Roman document? It always blows my mind talking to people who have invested their lives in the study of ancient Rome because y'all don't seem to realize it didn't exist. It is a figment of the Spanish Inquisition's imagination. Zero primary documents. None. This feels like arguing with someone in like the year 3000 CE that is convinced that Disney World was the ruler of the North American continent. It's not real, dude. Did you not think it's weird that anytime we find in situ ancient Roman sites, the letters are all written in Greek? We have Babylonian, we have hieroglyphics. No Roman. It was bred in circuses. It's a circus, man.
You know, and even if Donna had this take on all this stuff, aside from it being certifiably fucking wrong, one wouldn't be super annoyed with her if she wasn't such an absolute asshole about it. I mean, just look at the attitude that she handles all this stuff with.
So these are two great examples of documents that people think are primarily Roman, but we don't have the originals. So the two documents in question are Cicero's The Republic and Plato's The Laws. Let's dig in. First up, The Republic was uncovered magically in 1819. So again, when archaeology was just rich white men doing a eugenics. It's never been tested scientifically since. However, there is a slightly older document that makes mention of Cicero. Oh wait, it's from 1651 and has never been tested. Y'all starting to see the theme here? Non-invasive multispectral analysis would shut me up forever. Anyway, on to Plato. This is literally all that remains. Discovered in 1897. Was published in 1898.
God, thanks, Donna. With an attitude like that, I'm sure to trust anything that you say because you don't treat me like a fucking child at all. You know, it's insane. When you teach people about history, usually, just this unfettered joy that you have in discussing the topic is really what gets people interested in it. I know for me, I wouldn't be interested in Rome if it wasn't for the fact that I had good professors that were great at teaching the history of Greece and Rome and all this antiquity and all that stuff. If I didn't get that good experience from professors, why the hell would I, listen to any of it? But no, please, go ahead. Belittle all these people with any genuine questions. And then on top of that, I assume most people asking you a question these days are just looking to see what crazy take you have. Literally, her entire argument for some of this stuff seems to be perpetrating her, own weird, racist agenda. Well, it's like the anti-racist agenda, the point where it's like, well, this is a lie because it was white people who found this, and we know that white people are always lying. I mean, Donna looks pretty white to me. I wonder, I don't know, maybe she's lying. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm repeating what Donna's saying. What's really interesting about this is that she says that Cicero's The Republic isn't a primary source. For those of you that are unfamiliar with who Cicero is, here's who Cicero is. I mean, Cicero is probably one of the most interesting Roman figures in the history, you know. He was beheaded by Mark Antony. There's like all this drama around everything. It's quite the saucy story, Cicero's life, you know. But he was also like this scholar and a statesman, and you know, he did a lot. His writings are some of the most interesting that you can get at the time, in my opinion, and it's coming from this person who's like a very learned person at the time. They're interesting reads. They might be a little dry to read now, but there's plenty of people who've, you know, distilled those things into interesting videos you can watch on YouTube. But whether or not Cicero is a fabric of imagination from the realm of nothing but white men pretending to be archaeologists, you know, I'm only a citizen historian, but that's a little much. We have multiple accounts of Cicero existing. Also, I love the idea that it's like Plato didn't exist. That's also another funny one. Or that Plato is like the invention of like white men to pass off something. I don't know if you guys have seen what Greek and Roman people look like, or if you've interacted with anybody from there, or if you've experienced any of the history from an actual accredited person, you know. But you look at a Greek person from like ancient Greece. Guess what? They don't look white. They look Mediterranean. They probably have curly brown hair. You know, they probably have a beard, and they have like sun-tanned olive dark skin. So how is that somehow them being fucking white people? What does this have to do with history? Listen, lady, if you got a hang up with this shit, just take it to twitter.com. All right, you can be racist on there as long as it's in a way that everybody think is socially acceptable, but this is nuts. You know, as you watch Donna's TikToks, I think it's kind of clear what's going on here. She just really has a political agenda, and I mean, she could really just be doing that, and I don't think there'd be a problem with that. I'd probably disagree with a lot of her opinions, because I have a feeling it borders on her being racist. But hey, man, at least she's allowed to, like, say her piece. But there's this weird trend in like, history conversation right now, and it's just a straight-up denial or, like, restructuring of history to fit a specific narrative, which ironically Donna is complaining about white men doing, but Donna is actually doing right now as well. I'm not going to say that those men didn't do that. There's definitely examples of that. But we have tons of smart and educated people now, and on top of that, smart and educated people here on YouTube that are all explaining how these things happened from accredited sources. You know, it's really not that hard, you know. But no. Donna also has this crazy opinion that there's no Latin, like Latin, more like not Latin, that it doesn't exist.
Several folks ask in good faith now what I mean by Rome wasn't real, realizing that probably was a metaphor. So let's do the $3 version, 3-minute version of what I'm talking about. As requested, this will be an explain like I'm 5. And neither did anyone else, except Latinum. And the refugees came and they built the first aqueduct, which took from Iranian and Etruscan engineering. But make no mistake, Greece was the power player. So if you see Greek architecture somewhere else in the world, that's like seeing a square house in Argentina and saying, oh, that must be the United States of America, because that's how their houses are shaped. Rome was an empire like Disney or the circus are an empire, culturally, economically.
The thing is that Donna is going to say whatever she needs to reaffirm her beliefs, and anybody that's basically speaking out against her would be labeled as white supremacist or supporting, like, historical revisionism or anything like that. I honestly don't think Donna even has a degree in what she's talking about, because some of these things are like basic 101 knowledge, you know? It's like she believes that Latin was invented by the Spanish Inquisition to fetter. It's so stupid. I really enjoy these things, and I'll leave a link down to a book down below that I totally recommend you read if you get a chance. That's kind of like a more of a goofy, engaging read into the history of Greece and Rome and all that stuff. But just, I love the idea that it's like this entire, we're talking thousands of years. It's just invented, you know, just the greatest fictional story ever told. Move aside, Star Wars. Shut the fuck up, fucking George R.R. Martin. Your Game of Thrones has nothing on the great epic tale of the Caesars of Rome. Donna is a conspiracy theorist, 100%. I think that's pretty clear. You know, the whole thing about like trolling is that at one point it was just making fun, but now it's about trying to muddy the waters. Honestly, I wonder if Donna's being paid under the table. Want to throw conspiracy theories around, Donna? I think maybe, you know, you're part of like some government psyop. Why not?